I might need my medicine. I'm stuck in my head again. Why these hoes be meddling? I'm cold, I can't let them in. I looked in her eyes, got lost in the lies. Now it's all going bad again. What a horrible experience. I can't tell you why. These things that I tried, got it all going bad again. What a horrible experience. I was going in so destructive. I'ma need another introduction. Hey, yeah, they give me prescriptions cause I'm lovesick. Bury my ambition, I'm corrupted. I don't feel you, I don't really need that dumb shit. I just hope I never gotta relapse. Something party in the forest where the trees at. But everything I'm doing making me sad.
Alright, y'all, it's another day, and it is rainy as hell outside. Like, as you can see, it's storming out here. We're at a rest stop right now. And, you know, we just got done using the bathroom and everything like that. It is, like, crazy. There's a tropical storm warning or something for today. Yeah, you see all the rain? Yeah, it's crazy out here. But, you know, we're about to get to it. Look at how hard it's raining. See the trees blowing over there? It's crazy. People running. So right now we're driving. It's storming outside. It's like crazy out here. We're about to go get some breakfast, but we're gonna still do Uber Eats today because we really don't have much to do. So you know, that's our daily job. I would say I average about 8 hours of doing Uber Eats every day. Some days we do it for 11 hours. Some days we do it for like 6 hours. It just all depends. But we gotta work every day because we don't really have much else to do. So, and working is how we feed ourselves and keep our gas in the car and things like that. How we save our money. That's another thing. So yeah, we gotta work through the storm, the snow, whatever comes our way. Alright everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm gonna be talking about how we became homeless. There's a lot of people asking for the story, the specific story or whatnot. And I'm sorry if I'm talking kind of slow and like drug out. I'm tired. I got up at 7 o'clock today. No, not 7. It was like 6 o'clock this morning. Yeah, so to jump right into the story, we started off kind of homeless about a year ago. I'm gonna say about a year ago, which we weren't really homeless. We decided to sublease our apartment and you know, get out of it because it was just too much for us to handle at the time. It was about $1,600 in rent. We had 2 cars and we just found ourselves buried in bills and very unhappy. So we decided to move into, you know, staying in an Airbnb or hotel to minimize on that and eventually work our way into a new place that's cheaper and you know, other stuff like that, because we had a little bit of money, which of course we couldn't find nothing to go right into. We went into an Airbnb. So we were doing that. Like I said, we had 2 cars. We both did gig work at the time. My spouse wasn't pregnant at the time either, so we were both taking turns. I would do Lyft and Uber Eats and stuff like that. She would do like Grubhub, which these are very, very legitimate ways to make a living. Surprisingly, not surprisingly to me, but I guess contrary to popular belief, Uber and Lyft drivers make a good amount of money. But that's for another video. But yeah, so those were our jobs. We could work our jobs from anywhere. So that was another benefit. So we wouldn't be jobless. We weren't jobless. We're still not jobless this whole time. So after moving into the Airbnb, subleasing our apartment or whatever, we decide to go to Jacksonville. We went to Jacksonville. I knew some people out in Jacksonville, and we decided to stay in Jacksonville and just, like, you know, since we had the opportunity to go somewhere else because our jobs don't require us to stay in one place, we're like, why not? And we know some people out there. We can hang out. We can work. We can, you know, just be young or whatever. And yeah, so we did that. We went to Jacksonville. Plus, Jacksonville is really beautiful. It's a really beautiful place. Also, contrary to popular belief, but it's very beautiful out there. And they got great vegan food out there. We were vegan at the time, and that's for another video. But yeah, so we were out there. Went to a hotel. It was the worst hotel that we could possibly be in. The mold was outrageous. As soon as we walked in, because online they advertised it was called In Town Suites. Also, online they advertised it as some nice hotel or some decent hotel. We were looking for a decent hotel to stay in that wasn't too costly. And online it looked very good. We got to the hotel, and the room was completely trash. Couldn't get our money back, and so we just had to stay there for the week. My sinuses were acting up so bad because I have bad allergies, and I couldn't stand it. So after that week, we were looking on Airbnb. I seen that there was a campsite listed in Jacksonville on Airbnb for like $8 a night. So I was like, wow, we could really stay here and save up some money. And it would be very cheap for us to just go buy a tent and stay in it and work our jobs and save up some money. So what did we do? We got the tent. I went and got the nicest tent I could find. It had like 2 rooms, lighting, LED lights, a power switch in it, and, like, you know, a little place to put place for the air to vent through. It was a really nice tent. I have clips of it. I may insert in this video. I may not. I may leave it for a separate video. But it was a really nice tent. It cost me like $350, almost $400 for the tent and everything. All the equipment that we used. We got tiki torch. We set our whole campsite up like nice, and it was very comfortable. We got 2 air mattresses. We blew them up, put them in there. We had our son's pack and play in there. It was great. Like, it was actually a cool experience. We camped out for like a good 2 weeks, and it was a great experience. Like, we really, well, it was more considered glamping because they ran electricity, so we were able to, you know, use our laptop to watch Netflix and like other shit like that while in the tent. And while we were there, you know, sleeping outside like that, first and foremost, for your skin is amazing. Not literally sleeping outside, but sleeping in a tent. We didn't have AC, but we just were in the fresh air. It was amazing for our skin. Our skin looked, it just felt really good after we were done. Other than that, yeah, like I said, we was there and we were saving money. So for 2 weeks straight, we were working. We didn't have to pay much. I think it was like $100 something in total for 2 weeks. And, you know, we got to save up a good amount of money. So after that, you know, the person we subleased our apartment to, we kind of kept in contact with. And she called us, and she said that, because beforehand she had told us that she wanted to move to the area we lived in, because we lived in the city. She lived in the country, basically, which was like an hour away or whatever, hour and a half away. And yeah, she said she told us that she wanted to move to the city because, you know, she was pregnant at the time, and she wanted better opportunities for work, and like she was gonna go to school out there in the city and all this other stuff, right? So we were like, it's cool, this would be perfect for you, like, go ahead. Like, we made everything easy for her. We cleaned up the place. We made everything really easy for her to move into, right? So she calls us, and she was talking, she's talking to my spouse, and she's just talking about how, I mean, before she previously told us that she owned the place, her grandma passed her down a place or whatever, and that's where she was living at before. Somebody else was living there. Anyways, she told us she had a place, and when she said that, I was like, we've been sleeping outside for a while. We can't really find a place. And in my mind, I'm like, I'm the man. Not like that, but I'm like, I'm naturally a dad, so I'm naturally gonna want to put my family in a place after a certain amount of time. Like, I was like, all right, the camping shit is cool, the Airbnb staying is cool, hotels is cool, but you know, we got a family. Let's get us in a place. So I was like, I'm not even gonna say her name, but I was like, she got a place, and she was talking about how the person was like gonna be leaving and whatnot, and she was gonna have to look for a new tenant and stuff like that. And I'm like, is she hinting at us moving in potentially or whatever? And I was like, I told my spouse to call her and to, like, you know, see what she was talking about. And so she was like, yeah, you guys can move in. I don't have a problem with you guys moving in. You guys can be tenants or whatever. And I was like, cool. So we found a place or whatnot, not knowing that this place was gonna be a disaster, like a complete disaster in every way around. Like, first and foremost, when we got to the place, you know, we had no idea that she had a hoarding problem. So we found out that she was a hoarder, and you know, we were like, you know, we could work with that. Like, there was a lot of things wrong with the place, but it was like, because we went over everything. I was like, if it's a project house, let me know, because you know, we could do some of the work if you can, you know, help us out on some of the rent. Just trying to get a better deal and whatnot. And you know, because I know how to fix a few things, and I was like, I'll do some of the work that the house needs. And a lot, like, she wanted a lot of things done. She wanted a deck built. She wanted the roof repair. There's a bunch of different things that I was like, okay, come down on the rent and we can make a deal or an agreement or something. And at first she was like, oh yeah, we can do that. And you know, slowly but surely it started coming out that she was not with it, and she was more just so trying to get the money out of it, because we started out agreeing to 800, ended up paying 1,000. So how we got there, you know, so she says she's not gonna ask us for a deposit or whatnot because of you know, the hoarding issue. Like, there was literally stuff in every room. There was stuff in the living room, there was stuff in the kitchen, like, and I'm saying stuff as in piles of, like, we took videos, we recorded everything so that we have documentation of everything that we did. And I'll post those videos. It'll be a separate video, but when you guys see this stuff, you're gonna be blowed. You're gonna be like, why did you all even move in there? That was a dumb decision in the first place. But me, I was like, no, I'm getting a deal. Like, you know, I'm gonna help out. We're gonna help clean this lady's house up. We're gonna have somewhere to stay. It's gonna look nice and whatever. So we got everything cleared out second day we were there, because she was saying it was like gonna be like a long process or whatever. We were like, no, we gotta stay. We literally have to live here, so we need everything cleared out now. Like, we got to work. Like, first and foremost, our time is money. If we don't go to work because we work for ourselves, if we don't go to work one day, we miss out on the money we're supposed to be paying you. So with that being said, me and my spouse got everything cleared out, and she didn't have anywhere else to really put it besides her trailer. So she has like a big trailer that she carries stuff, or like, I guess, hoards stuff in, really. So we got everything moved out into her trailer, which she never removed from the property. And that's a whole nother story. There's a lot of stories in this one story. But yeah, we got everything moved out, and you know, we started living there. So after the first month, everything's all right. We hit a few road bumps with her, but we're like, okay, at least we're not like paying a crazy amount. We start finding out things don't work in the house. Like, the front bathroom, it was 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom. One of the toilets had to be replaced like the second day we were in there. Front bathroom toilet never worked, never flushed. It was ridiculous. The front sink, the kitchen sink, matter of fact, the kitchen sink didn't work for the last about 6 months we were in there, so we were living without a kitchen sink, and that was absolutely horrible because it's so hard to live without a kitchen sink that we've learned, and then the front bathroom doesn't work. It was a mess, so we couldn't. It wasn't even like it was just a sink problem. It was like a plumbing issue, so we couldn't even use the dishwasher. And none of this stuff occurred to us in the beginning because everything looked like it worked and whatnot. But after that, that's after we pulled all the junk out. Everything looked like it worked. What else? There was rats, roaches, a roach infestate. Like, I mean, of course there's gonna be roaches after the hoarding issue, but you know, I was like cool with all this stuff because I'm like, this is a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house that we're gonna get, and we're gonna pay $800 per month, and we're gonna help this lady fix up. So I'm like, I'm literally like taking it easy on all the specifics because I'm like, okay, cool, I'll exterminate them myself. I'll bomb the house. I'll bomb this, trap the rats, whatever, doing all this and all that. And you know, next thing you know, she starts wanting to raise the rent. And I'm like, wait, why are you raising the rent if we agree to help you out? Or all this other stuff. And she was like, I was assuming you guys were gonna pay the original price because she told us that her original price was $1,300. And immediately when she said $1,300, we were like, we can't do that. And then she was like, what about $1,200 and $100 that you give us, or $100 that you give me will go towards home repairs? And I'm like, I'm not gonna pay you to repair your house. If you're gonna lower the rent, I'll help you fix whatever you need to be fixing here while we're living here, because it's not a problem to me. We're living here, and I want to live in a place that I feel comfortable in and whatnot. So long story short, we went through it with that. The last month came around. Things happened while we were living there, as in, like, my grandfather passed away, which was a really big thing for me. I hadn't talked to him in almost a year, and you know, it was a really big thing, really big, sad thing for me. And you know, it kind of set me back. It kind of set us back a lot on bills with me taking trips, because we don't live in the same city. We didn't live in the same city, so I had to take trips over there to see him right before he passed away, and you know, be around my family, support them and stuff like that. And you know, that ended up costing more, as far as, like, you know, less time spent focused on paying bills, and more grieving time, and more time that my attention just wasn't there. So that came around, and you know, we just basically got behind. Ever since then, is like, I think I've been, well, I made arrangements to pay her the rent. Like, we didn't miss a month on rent. It was more so the rent was like behind for the last few months we were there. Like, instead of me paying on the day the rent's due, I would pay, hey, or tell her, hey, I can pay you this much this day and this much this day, and within the same month the rent would be paid, just not on the exact date. So after a couple months of arrangements like that, you know, and also living with no kitchen sink, and also living with no mail, because she didn't even, this lady was withholding so much stuff from us living there that it was like hard to even live there. We didn't have a mail key. We didn't have access to the mailbox that our mail was supposed to come to. We didn't have, like I said, a kitchen sink. Front bathroom didn't work. And there's just a bunch of bugs in the house. And it was a lot. Like, you guys will see in the video that I post how much shit we had to deal with being in this house. And, yeah. So, last month came around, and we're like, okay, last few months came around, and we're like, okay, we're going to plan on moving out here, because we can't even wash our own dishes. There's no counter space. There's no the cabinets. There's no cabinets. There was no cabinets here. So we had nowhere to put our dishes, basically nowhere to put any of our shit, like, at all. But we just had to make room. And, yeah, we did that, and for the last few months we were like just planning to leave. Like we were like, okay, we'll stay here. We're gonna pay her money, and we're gonna, just move out when it's time to move out, because it would have been a year in April, so next month would have been a year. So yeah, so February comes around, the end of February, and I'm telling her like, okay, I'm behind this month, but I'm gonna pay you end of the month, because we're waiting on our, everybody waits on income tax when you get income tax back. It's a very popular thing amongst the black community that people use that money to move somewhere. People use that money to some people use it for nonsense, but a lot of people use it when it's time to move, like, and the lease is up and they want to move somewhere else. So we were planning on paying the rent with that, catching up on the car payment, and moving somewhere else, because we just couldn't do it there anymore. Like the AC, there's so many problems. But yeah, so we're at work one day, and like, we're literally 15 minutes away from the house, and I get a text message that says, you guys can come get your stuff. I can't do this anymore. You guys can come get your belongings. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? Mind you, a couple days before this, like, I walk in the house and somebody else is there's a cigarette, half-smoked cigarette sitting in the living room on the counter. And I'm like, none of us smoke cigarettes. I asked her if she had somebody in the house. She says, yes, a plumber. And I was like, no heads up? Like, you're not going to tell me you sent anybody by? Which we've realized, she was just trying to do that so that we wouldn't withhold rent, because we didn't have working appliances, and things weren't working because she didn't have them fixed, and she was really trying to cover her ass and have things fixed before she put us out or did whatever to us legally and all this other shit. So anyways, we get back to the house. The door, I discovered that the front door lock has been changed, and I'm like, oh my god, here we go. She changed the front door lock, and now all of our stuff's inside and we can't get inside, and it's 4:00 in the afternoon, right? Mind you, I'm in the middle of working, trying to make money to pay my rent, bills and shit like that. So I spend the rest of the afternoon on the phone trying to call her. She's not picking up. She doesn't respond. She doesn't reply anything. So I had to call the police. The police get there. They say, you got mail here? I say, yes, I have mail here. They say, then you can go inside. You can legally go inside, which I luckily left the window open. I left the window open unconsciously, knowing that I was going to need the window open. But yeah, the police were like, you guys can go inside legally. Like, she can't do this without 30 days. They just got into all the legal shit, but basically, that she doesn't really think about. But yeah, so they permitted me to go into the window, open the door. I let my family in. And then, the next day we were out of there. Like, we didn't really have any time to plan where we were going. We didn't really have any time to think about it. We just knew we had to get out of this lady's shit because, yeah, she's ridiculous. We didn't have a key to get into our own house. Like, we couldn't keep working and not be able to access our own house. She messaged us a couple days. No, matter of fact, she don't message us. I messaged her again because I'm like, okay, I need to get some mail that's going to our old apartment, because I'm pretty sure she has it. I tell her we need the mail, and then she's like, she's trying to be so nice, and she's like, just not regarding the fact that she just put us out randomly, like randomly put us out, me, my spouse, and our almost 2-year-old son. She has no regard for that. She just came, drove an hour and a half away to change the locks and not answer the phone, not reply, not say nothing, not let us get our belongings at all. No, nothing. So, I get the mail from her a couple days later, and I'm just like, I'm cutting all ties. And we're here. Like, I hope my storytelling ability is getting better, but I'm trash at completely telling stories. But like I said, we didn't have much time to plan. We didn't have much time to do anything. So, luckily my cousin was able to help me out. We got a storage unit, and because at the time I missed so much work that the money that I made had to go back to gas. The money that I made had to go back to food and all this other shit. Like, we don't have savings. Like, there's no such thing as a savings when you're poor. Like, we don't live in a tax bracket where we are able to save money yet. We were trying to build ourselves up to that by having monthly bills. But, you know, it is what it is. We're still working on it, and that's what this channel's for. But like I said, you know, I was able to get a storage unit, and we put all of our stuff in storage, which we had to move all by ourselves. Like, in our little Toyota Camry, had to move all our stuff into a storage unit. It took us all day, a day that, once again, I could have been working and making money to, you know, do something. Like, okay, now I got to put my family in a hotel, or money I could be using to now save and put us in another place, which was another inconvenience, complete inconvenience. But yeah, we put our stuff in storage, and we basically just, you know, hit the road. I think that night I did accumulate enough for us to stay in a hotel. I'm not sure, but I think that night we did stay in a hotel, because I did make money from working that day. So yeah, that was pretty decent, and here we are. And this is what we've been doing ever since, really. I really hope you guys can kind of get the gist of that and understand the story. If not, I'll break it down piece by piece for anybody that wants to know. Of course, there's more videos coming soon, and they should probably enlighten a little bit more. And any questions that you have, feel free to ask. But on the other hand, like, we're doing fine. Other than being tired, that's about it. We're doing really good. We stay in a hotel for like a few days out. Like, our week is split between car and hotel. You know, I get money up, and I save it while we're not staying in a hotel to pay for the hotel. And then, you know, I'm not even gonna say all that. I'll let you guys see that in the videos, and you guys will understand exactly what I'm doing, because this is all about building our way out of poverty to stability. And I hope you guys follow the journey. Hope you enjoy, and hope it's enlightening. And if you're on this journey too, I wish you the best of luck. Later.